Hey guys, welcome to Joe Ciminera Presents. I'm Joe Ciminera. Now today's topic is directing a film. Should you direct your own film, or should you get someone else to do it? Coming up next, some helpful tips from me and over the years that could help you out on your next production. So the answer is yes, you should definitely be directing your own film because who else can really get your message out like yourself? So, just being on set and trusting another director to sometimes get what you want isn't always going to happen. I mean, look at Stephen King. He's always arguing with different directors and has a different point of view on how his films should be directed. So if you're really looking to be and have a strong opinion on your certain kind of style or what you want to get out there, then I suggest you try to direct the film yourself. Talking about a couple of things that have helped me direct over the years, and just to give you a little bit of background, I've directed 8 feature films. I've directed about 50 or so shorts. The last time I counted, I think it was 51. And then I've directed about 3,000 cooking shows. I don't think there's anyone in the entire universe that has directed more cooking shows than me. So I have a good amount of experience in directing both television, feature films, and also a couple of documentaries. Now, one thing you have to consider first is what you're good at, right? What is your genre? Horror? Romantic comedy? Maybe you're a sci-fi geek. I don't know. You have to really figure that out. Me personally, you won't be finding me doing any romantic comedies because for my style, it's just not a perfect fit. And at the end of the day, I really want to succeed with what I'm doing, so I'm not going to dive into an unfamiliar territory. Now, you also want to get inspired by some things as well. And maybe you're inspired by Rod Serling or Alfred Hitchcock. Or Stanley Kubrick with their directing and what they've done and what they've been successful with, that could maybe inspire you and motivate you to go into a certain area. So I always say try to grab something that inspires you at any certain level, at any different length, to really push yourself into finishing the film and taking charge. Remember, anyone can direct a film. I think where the expertise lies is putting people in their proper spots, right? You get on a film set that's got 200, 250 people, you have to be the maestro. You have to sort of put everyone in place, and there has to be a nice level of balance and harmony. You can't start yelling and throwing things because that attitude just trickles down and affects the film. So it's a very personable approach when you're directing, and that really just comes from experience and what your personality is as well. What might help you directing with film is something I do from time to time is I watch a film that I like and I keep the sound off. I have the volume turned all the way down and I watch the cinematography, I watch the camera angles, I watch the balance of the actors and everything else. That sort of always puts me in a road of my own, and at the end of the day, Joe Ciminera likes to be on his own road with nobody else on it. So I'm always trying to find out what everybody else is doing and put my own spin on it and drive to the left a little bit and 2 miles down and wait for people to catch up to me. So that's always been my philosophy, especially when it comes to filmmaking. So watch a movie that you like without sound, and it's really cool, and I think you're going to benefit from it. It also helps you to watch the film and decide where and when you would want to put music in a film, especially like my area of expertise is horror. So the sound is so important. So you have to really be at some point, even though you rely on good editors and sound people to put that in, you still have to put your own knowledge in there and your own expertise to make it that much better. As far as getting ready for a shoot, what I like to do is most people write about a story or they have a story idea in their head and then they go and they find this actor. Sometimes they waste countless years trying to get this particular actor to play it. That's a waste of time. Or you could do what I do is I find the location first. So I go and really find some incredible locations. I put some hard to find locations in my films. And usually all the time when I find a place to film, the owner or the person who owns the property says, I would never do this. I've said this a million times. I've said no, no, no. And then by the end of an hour schmoozing them and talking to them about life and totally unrelated to about film, they usually say, you know what, Joe, I'm going to give you a shot. You know what, if it's only like a few days you need the place, no problem. So if you ever look at my locations, they're pretty wild. And that's what I like to do. I like to find the location first and then plan the story around it. So like in my movie Acedia, which was shot in 2.5 days, we won so many film festival awards for probably the least amount of time it took to film a feature. That had no script, by the way. I found this monastery in Long Island, St. Joseph's Monastery. They had never used the place for filming at all. It was like, you know, if I wasn't a monk stepping foot on there, it was like, you know, what are you doing there? But through some people, I got introduced. I went there, and they said, would you like to stay for dinner? And I said, well, I really would like to walk the grounds. I spent 4 hours walking the grounds, and by the end of the 4th hour, I already had the whole movie planned in my head. And that goes to my next thing is, you know, some directors write their own films and some directors direct someone else's work. Me, I only direct my own work. So with that being said, I don't like scripts. I don't like to work with scripts. And the reason why I don't plan anything like that is because, you know, you take an individual and an actor and their personality, and never in a million years can I write how they can develop themselves as a character. So it's also like a big surprise on set. These actors really blossom with a different approach that I wouldn't expect. They come out of left field with their own personalities and different areas on how they approach stuff. And yeah, I might direct them and tweak them, but for the most time, I think it's a great element of surprise on set when you let an actor really take on their craft. That's what I think acting is. You know, so many people say, well, you got to let the actor get into their role. You know, they don't know what they're doing. I've had actors, prima donnas, that I've just said, you know what, I'm not working with you if you think, you know, I need to keep giving you lines and lines and lines. And you have to be prepared, be prepared. There are so many talented people that slip right into the role. Now that is acting. That, to me, is what filmmaking is about. And for a lot of actors, it works out well. And it really surprises everyone. Now, down to the directing, the last part is the distractions that can happen on set. Craft services. Your actor in your trailer wants something, or they're not ready to get on set. You're waiting for the camera person to find this perfect lens. Something breaks on set. There are a million things that can happen, and when you're on set with anywhere from 2 to 3 people to 200 to 300 people, there's a lot. You are responsible for everything on set. And yeah, you have PAs and everything else to help you run around, and assistant directors, but at the end of the day, you're running the show, and it all comes back to you. So even if you have all these people helping you out on set, they're always coming back to you for the final approval. So you have to learn how to delegate a lot of things going on and keep your cool. I think I've heard of, right? I've only been on one other professional set other than my own. That was Martin Scorsese. So I haven't seen, nor do I really care about how many other directors are doing on their suit, but I hear back from a lot of actors, and they always tell me, yeah, you know, this director is crazy, you know, he was throwing scripts at my face, and you know, and then there are some directors who are calm, cool, and get stuff done through so much respect that they really don't have to raise their voice. So, and a lot of, you know, dealing with people has to be with your experience on set and developing a rapport with people. But I think as time goes on and experience and you kind of hear the feedback out there, you're going to direct your film. The main thing is go and just direct it. Drop everything you're doing right now, grab a couple of people, create a team, and make your film. So if this was helpful for you, please like, subscribe, and comment, because I'm always trying to help people out in the film industry, and we can all help each other and make better films. Lights, camera, action. Until the next time, good luck on your next filming gig.